Hi, and welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds, a podcast where two ordinary nerds talk about ordinary nerdy things. Now, Daniel, this doesn't look like our usual space.
We finally moved to my new house, so now we're gonna do some podcasts over here. Hope you like it.
It's podcast here, podcast over at my house.
Yeah, it's all gonna be a sharing experience.
Yes, we're sharing and caring. So what are we drinking on today?
We are drinking on a Stone Ripper. It's a San Diego Pale Ale.
It's a pale ale that's got some juicy hops in it.
Ooh.
It is a delicious. Stone IPA is probably one of my favorite beers, so it was cool to see that they came out with a different kind of beer.
I like it.
Yeah,
It has like this fruity bitterness to it.
Yeah, it's got a good bite, like a good hoppy bite, which Stone is known for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I tried to find some O'Malley's beer. I don't know if you've ever been to O'Malley's Pub. It's up in Weston, Missouri. I tried to find some O'Malley's beer because they have some beer I tried over the weekend when I went up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see any at the liquor store, but we should definitely look into trying some of that. Or Weston, or O'Malley's, you can send us some.
That's true. They can send us some delightful variety, I guess, of beers.
Yeah. My cousin told me that we should start sending out things to companies as, hey, if you let us try your stuff, we can you'll get
free publicity.
Yeah, and he said that a lot of his he said one of his friends got like a free graphics card and a bunch of like good graphics card. Like, it was like a $1,200 graphics card or something.
Holy shit.
Yep. So, what are we going to talk about today?
I think we're going to talk about the CW Arrowverse
versus the ABC Marvel TV universe.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
You basically caught up with Arrow and...
I'm not caught up, but I think I'm on episode 9 of season 3, so...
Okay, and you started Flash too.
Mm-hmm.
Are you caught up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh yeah. Are you?
Nope. But I'm caught up with Flash and a little bit of Supergirl. I think I still have a couple episodes to watch.
Join us while we get flashy. I like it. I mean, season 2 of Arrow was, season 2 of Arrow was pretty good. I thought it was, what's her face? His sister.
Oh, Speedy?
No, what's her name?
Yeah.
Arrow's sister. Thea. Yeah. Thea was cool. I mean, I guess I don't mind her character, but she was towards the end of the season. I got tired of her in between. So I got tired of Thea being like, "Oh, I don't like my mom. I don't like my brother." Blah. I'm like, ugh. That part I didn't like. The action was good. I really liked Deathstroke.
Okay. And yeah, Thea becomes Speedy, like his sidekick, like her boyfriend. Is he Arsenal? Quite yet?
He's still there.
Is he a sidekick of Arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, eventually he will leave, and Theo will become his sidekick. Speedy.
And he finds out eventually that Malcolm's been training her.
Yes, he will. She will eventually. He will eventually find out, and for some reason or other, she becomes aggressive. So basically, they kill her and then drop her up in the Lazarus pit. She comes back.
Oh, that's when Constantine brings her back, right? Is it Constantine that brings her back, or does he bring back sister of?
Constantine does not bring the sister back. She is dumped in the Lazarus pit, and she comes back more evil and with urges to kill.
Oh.
And that's how... So basically she learns to control that, and she becomes basically his sidekick. But, yeah.
It is cheesy, but I like it. I would say I like Flash more.
It's more cheesy.
I like it is cheesier, but I like Barry's character. Barry just seems more down to earth versus Arrow. He just seems kind of like out there. He's just
that's my problem with the Arrow is if you read in the comics, Green Arrow
funny.
He's funny. He's more or less has like that Peter Parker Spider-Man attitude. Like he cracks jokes. Here they made him Batman for some reason.
Yeah.
They made him Batman. So Flash, they kept him the same, but he changed. So that's why he's not really Green Arrow. He is more. That's why I think they call him Arrow. He doesn't just because they just realize now. So I think it's too late to change and make him more comedy relief than what he really is.
I haven't watched. Of course, I say that I'm only 2 episodes into Flash. I haven't watched. Obviously, Legends of Tomorrow yet, and I haven't watched. I probably don't care to watch Supergirl.
I thought the same way as you, but then I started watching it, and I like Supergirl. I like it a little bit better over the Arrow. Arrow got, for me, got kind of boring at the end. But everybody who listens to the podcast know that if I think it has way too many seasons and it starts bothering me,
he starts bitching.
But I think
Game of Thrones is just getting too long.
Game of Thrones is one of the few that but I think Game of Thrones is different because I know there's an ending. And they're not going to push it through. If there was no ending with the Game of Thrones, and be like, oh, after the White Walkers, there's going to be something else, I'll be like, no. But in here is, with Arrow, it's like, how many, he doesn't have that too many storylines, and pretty soon he's going to start copying. Well, he already copies Batman's, but once he, he's going to what? There's going to be a Joker in Green Arrow? That's my problem. With Supergirl, it's fun.
In the comics, do they have, because I know at the end of this season, that just ended with Arrow just because of shit I saw on Facebook and stuff, that Slade got out as well as Boomerang, and helped him fight whoever he's fighting in this season. So does that happen in the comics?
Deathstroke is not technically the villain of Green Arrow. I mean, Green Arrow doesn't. I didn't read too much Green Arrow, so my familiarity with him is. But it's not it is true that Green Arrow took Deathstroke's eye, but it's basically Batman's or Teen Titans' enemy. It's not really Green Arrow. Green Arrow is more or less he used to team up with the others, like in the Justice League. So he was more like as much as I can I know it's a Justice League. One of the longest books they had was Green Arrow and Green Lantern teamed up together, and they had like a long comic book series. And I think it got to the point where Arsenal, the first sidekick in the show, gets into heroin. He gets addicted to it, and there's classic book cover where you can see Arsenal, injecting the drugs, and you can see her. I was like, Arsenal, what are you doing? If he's by himself, they make him more humanish. But when he's basically the Hawkeye of the Avengers. He doesn't have a strong alone book stories. He's more with the Justice League.
Okay.
To more or less bring the Justice League down to a more human level. Because, everybody is Superman and Wonder Woman. Batman, of course, even though he's still human, but, he basically is God himself. He's the smartest, he's blah, blah.
Well, see, and they've introduced Superman in this universe. So, and they've said that Batman, there is a Dark Knight that's in
Gotham,
in his universe, in Supergirl and Superman's universe, because they're not really in the same universe as Arrow, but they have a way of.
Barry Allen is able to time travel,
and
he's able to time travel and jump through universes. So that's how Barry Allen meets Supergirl. But yeah, I think it's called they mention Gotham, the Night of Gotham or something like that. I don't think they're gonna bring Batman,
but it would be cool if they did.
I think it would be better if they introduced Nightwing or the Robins. leave Superman, because it's I think it's refreshing that it's Green Arrow, Supergirl, even though it's Flash is still a big name hitter. But I mean, if they introduce Batman, and I think a Nightwing will be good, or just to make it, keep it more or less sidekicks or side. Or
I think they got to do something because they're getting to a point where it's like, okay, we're getting there up there in seasons, so either we need to cut it or come up with some new shit.
Yeah, I mean, I would do Nightwing, or Red Hood, or Robin, or Red Hood. I think would be too aggressive, but I think Nightwing will be perfect though. Original Robin, has basically is the best, is the second best Batman there is. So I think it's a good compromise between, and they can always have a Batman. I was saying it could be different.
I do like the show though. I mean, I really like how, in a sense, they had with Deathstroke, they had a Negan-esque scene where when they killed the mom. Oh. You lined them up and was like, which one? Yeah, I thought that was a good part. And the fighting and everything, I still think that, what's his face is my favorite character.
But I know what you're talking about. Does he have his special helmet play it?
No, but I've seen that because when I watched, I can't think of his name, I'll think of it. I've seen him, he had that when I watched the Constantine episode. Because I hadn't watched the show ever, but when that show, that one aired, because I watched the whole season, or I guess series of Constantine, it was a good episode.
But, I mean, and now let's go with more or less with the Flash and Supergirl. What are you liking about the Flash? Is it just the humor, or is it just
the humor? I like
superhero that's more superhero-ish now.
He's not. I feel like Arrow's cool, but he's not. He's tactical, but he doesn't. He's not brains. I've always sided more with the people that are like the brainiacs, and I really like the science. I love science, so I really like the science behind. How many times can I say science in this sentence?
What movie is it about the? Is it cat or something like that? How many times you can say cat in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super Troopers.
Super Troopers.
But I really like the episode. I just like how Flash, Barry, he has his science quirks, but he's more human. He doesn't. It's like, I really want to let whatever that girl's name is that he's best friends with that he wants to date. I really want to tell her that I have this power, and through that, it just gives him more human qualities, where I feel like Arrow is a fucking robot.
For me, that I've been watching a bit more, it starts like that, and then it's just, he doesn't seem to learn. He always changes something, goes to the future, goes to the past, changes, when everybody tells him, don't do that. You can't do it. Like, every time you do it, you fuck up. And every season, he does it. Every season, his villains are speedsters also. And that's the problem where if you only have, one superhero like that, it's basically untouchable because he's so fast. You need to, if you have one speedster that's so powerful, that's the bad thing. If a speedster can only be defeated basically or by Superman, somebody with super intelligence like Batman that plans for everything, or another speedster.
Or like Cyborg.
I'm not sure Cyborg could beat the Flash. I guess there's not a lot of people that can beat the Flash. The reason why is he can go to the fucking past and kill you when you're a kid, just stab you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It's like Superman against Batman. Like, he can destroy Batman in a second if he really wanted to.
But he has morals and...
Yeah, and deep down, Superman is a good person, while Batman, deep down, he's not a good person.
It's kind of like Tony. Because Tony's not really a good person either. He does some good things, but he's definitely, when it boils down to it...
Tony, I think, deep down, he's good. Because he could have killed Captain America if he wanted to. He didn't have to do a punching contest.
Yeah, he could have killed him with a laser or a bomb.
Yeah, like 2 steps back and he just shoot a rocket.
And same with Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so deep down, Tony, I think it's good. Deep down, Batman, he's not good. But he understands what bad can do to somebody, so he doesn't want anybody else. It's like Superman. He can go a mile away with his supervision, see Bruce Wayne walking, do the heat vision or the laser vision. God.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do that. Flash is similar. But
so yeah, I guess this would be a good place to transition into the Marvel TV shows. We're gonna exclude the Fox shows. We're not like X-Men related shows. We're just talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then our thoughts on that ridiculous picture of the Inhumans that's coming out. Well, that one's gonna be a short conversation. So I think that the picture of the Inhumans is ridiculous. Like, have you seen it?
I don't mind it. The only thing that bothers me is Medusa.
Yeah, Medusa, you could totally tell she's wearing a wig.
But I mean, it's a promotional. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to see it in action.
Yeah, me too. And I think it has a good roster of actors.
Yeah.
The actors in it are good. And I think what happened is that they just had a really shitty promotional pictures. Because we've seen this in the past with other promotions that are ridiculous. For instance, Apocalypse. Apocalypse, they showed pictures and he was just this purple guy and people were pissed off because he kind of looked like Thanos. And then he
looked like the goo from Power Rangers too.
Yeah. And so then they released other pictures showing, okay, he's actually blue. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I watched a show on AMC called Hell on Wheels. And Anson Mount, who's playing the head guy, whatever his name, Black Bolt. Mm-hmm. He's a good actor. And then, of course, Ramsey's in it.
But for me, it's one of those, it's like, I love how they look in the comics, but you can't translate comics to real life.
And I don't think...
Because anybody wears spandex.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you want to see a whole bunch of people running spandex and people, like, acting normal with that? It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. I mean... And, he's an actor, they want to show his face, I'm pretty sure they're going to show him putting the mask on, like, they do an Arrow, or... I just, Medusa's, hair look kind of funky, but... I mean, I just want to give it I just going to watch the first couple of episodes, see if it's good or bad, and then imagine it's going to be good. It's an X-Men, basically, TV show. And ABC is doing a good job with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so it's getting me.
Well, we hope they're doing a good job because I think they were, if they wouldn't have changed up this season because they had those huge, the first 4 seasons had huge 23 episode arcs. And it's hard to make a show that has 23 episode arcs, story arcs. So this season, have you watched any of this season?
No, I watched the first couple of episodes where Ghost Rider shows up.
Okay, so you've seen some of the season. So in the season, they break it up into 4 different three or four different story arcs, which is really nice because it freshens up the story. Plus, it's like an overall big 23 episode story arc, but it keeps it going with individual stories. So instead of like the first part is about Ghost Rider, and then it goes into LMD about like the robots and not robots, but like the androids, and then after that it goes into a Dream World one that is fucking awesome, like the best part of any of these seasons in this show. I'm going to rewatch it the whole season before next season because this season is awesome, especially with Ghost Rider, and this season was a knockout. And they did an interview with IGN, and I think next season they're going to go with the same idea of doing individual stories because
mini storylines because they all fit together.
Yep. And the cool thing is because they bring back characters that died in like season 2 or even season 3. They bring back, big characters, which is really cool.
We don't know who. I'm very sure it's who's the bad guy who was good, but then was bad guy.
Ward comes back, and then of course they have Trip comes back.
Who was Trip?
He was He was with them first season and halfway through the second. He was when Daisy turned, and and he was in there with her when the gas got released.
Oh,
and he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was... so that was really cool, seeing them go through that. And it gives a different story arc because it's, in a sense, it's...
I like how it's related to the TV, to the movies. So if something happens in the movies, they mention it or affects the storyline.
Yeah. So like in the dream world, Hydra won because Ada. If you met Ada, she's like the android robot that the doctor made. Mm-hmm. So Ada created this mainframe or this framework. It's in a sense, it's like the Matrix.
Okay.
And so she is programmed to make them happy. So she made it to where everyone's happy, and it just winded up being Hydra won instead of S.H.I.E.L.D. Uh-huh. And then, of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. was the underdog, and so they're the resistance. It's really neat because they have to go through and convince, like, Coulson is a teacher, and so Sky has to go, or Daisy has to go and convince him that he's part of... He's not real. Like, this is just a framework. You're actually part of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so she's like...
So, she's the only one that knows this, I'm assuming.
No, her and Gemma go in and try to save everyone. The only other person that... And then, of course, Fitz is the head of Hydra. And dude,
really?
Yeah, dude, it is a fucked up season. Like,
and is he evil?
Oh, dude, like Hitler evil.
But does he portray it good?
Oh, definitely. That's why it's so good as
British.
an actor. Yeah, British people do a pretty good job of doing it.
You're pretty good, Hitler.
Yeah. But yeah, it's such a good season, and like the ending. So I'm going into spoilers here. So if you don't want to hear this, turn off and come back in 5 minutes ish. You don't care about spoilers, do you?
No.
Okay. So they get out of the framework and they have to fight all these other androids because Ada finds a way to use the black fold or whatever that Ghost Rider came out of to create her own body. Instead of actually being an android, she becomes a human, but she has like all of these inhuman powers. So then Ghost Rider, he's the only one that can kill her because he's a fucking demon. It's not like he's an inhuman.
Does he do the stare?
Well, no, he doesn't do that. But the best part is you think, okay, so Gemma goes in there with Fitz, and so Ada can teleport. She teleports in and stabs Gemma in the chest. You're like, oh my god, they killed fucking Gemma. Well, it's just a fucking android. Fitz made another version, but it was Gemma, so then they could trick Ada. So then... And Ada knew about Ghost Rider because in the beginning of the season finale, they show him come up and he fights her and she gets burned and no one else can hurt her, but she's like, oh my god, he can actually hurt me. So Coulson and Ghost Rider, or I guess Robbie, come up with this plan, and he transfers Ghost Rider into Coulson. And Coulson is like, yeah, that was part of the plan about Gemma. She's like, okay, but there's only one person that can kill me, and he's not here. And Coulson's like, yeah, about that. And he turns into Ghost Rider and fucking kills her. It's like, oh shit!
But that's not how it works.
But then Robbie's like, Robbie goes back into the void where he came from, because at the end of his portion, at the end of his quarter of a season, if you will, the Ghost Rider section of the first. He goes into the black void or whatever it's called, but he comes through for this last episode. Well, he goes back in at the season finale, but as he's going back in, he looks at Coulson and he's like, I don't envy you. So either Coulson is Ghost Rider now, or, which I don't think it's possible for them both to have a piece of Ghost Rider. But I think...
You cannot transfer Ghost Rider, it doesn't work like that. You have to sign, it's a curse, you sign it.
I think but the newer... Have you read the newer comic?
But it's still the same way. You still have to do sign your soul.
Well, they kind of... Because Mac, in that season, Mac gets Ghost Rider too. He becomes it for a little bit.
Everybody gets Ghost Rider. It's like Oprah.
Well, I like the twist versus the comic. They don't stick with the continuity. They do, but they don't. But it's
canon now. So that's the thing.
I think it's cool though. But the best part is that they're in this meeting, there's like a board meeting of like these head people, and there's this Russian guy. You'll know him from Black Sails. He plays Charles Vane.
Okay.
He's in there, and he's actually an android, and they made an android version of Daisy, and she comes in and shoots the general guy in the head, whatever, I can't think of his name, but he's in like every season, and he's he always is just there to bitch at Coulson. Well, she shoots him in the head. He lives, but he's like just effed up. So they shoot him in the head, and they're all after S.H.I.E.L.D. They're like, "Oh, you did this."
Well, they had to prove that.
And I don't know what she would be, but his not vice general, I don't know. The general guy's helper or whatever was there, and she saw it happen. She's like, "Oh, you guys did this," and Daisy's right there. She's like, "I didn't do this, obviously." And she's like, "Get them!" And so they leave, and they're sitting at this diner, and it was cool because the way they left it, they didn't know if the season was going to get picked up, so they left it at a point where it could have easily been, okay, this could be a series finale. Because it's the first time that all of them as a group are back together. And so they're all sitting at like just like a 50s diner eating dinner or whatever. Lights go out, S.H.I.E.L.D. or like the army comes in. They're like, "Freeze, you all are under arrest for..." Talbot is his name. For shooting Talbot and doing all this other, the ILMD robot crap. So then it pans out and it shows Coulson, and he's like, "All right, Coulson, time to get your shit back together. Enough monkeying around or whatever." And he looks out and he's in space. So they're in like a space prison, all of them are. Or they didn't show everybody else, but they showed Coulson. He's in a space prison. So next season's going to be awesome. And they said I think they're going to do Inhumans and then start.
Because Inhumans live in the moon.
Oh, yeah, I know that they're doing Inhumans first because it's only 6 or 8 episodes, and then they'll start Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So after they do that, I hope it'd be cool if they intermingled them. But
they should. They will.
I don't know how that's going to work because they.
Well, she's an Inhuman.
Oh, well, I know that, but that show is filmed in Hawaii, and the reason why Arrowverse works is because they all film.
I'm pretty sure they're going to keep it more separated, but I mean, it's like Arrowverse, they're going to ship them there and ship them here.
In the first season of S.H.I.E.L.D., they had Sid or whatever from Thor come in. So.
And then Samuel L. Jackson pops up. So,
yeah. I really... it boasted my confidence in the show more now because the whole second season with the Inhumans and stuff, I was just like, oh, it's kind of weird. Like it was okay, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be... I guess,
I was hoping when they have the episode where where they're trying to get extracted from the framework, although only the real people could come out, I was really hoping they could bring good Ward out, because Ward is good in the framework. He's not evil Dick Ward.
I like evil Dick Ward.
I like evil Dick Ward too, but I was really hoping they could bring good Ward back, and then I was hoping they could bring Trip back, but they couldn't do it. And then Mac almost didn't come through. He was, he was like, because his daughter's alive in there. And so he's like, yeah, I don't want to.
Oh, I'll leave.
Yeah, so he almost died, but Yo-Yo went back in for him, and she, kind of convinced him, but he had to wait until his daughter basically disappeared because the framework was caving in on itself. Yeah. It was pretty cool. It's a really, really good season. I mean, I honestly...
I know it's coming to Netflix next month, so...
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. That's how I normally watch it, and just binge watch it on Netflix.
We need to come up with a day to watch when Defenders comes out. We'll have to have a binge watch day.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. You could talk about it. And I think...
Do you have a question?
Okay, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight? Green Arrow versus Hawkeye?
That's a good one because, I mean, Hawkeye has, I would assume, more training than Green Arrow because he's been a secret agent for so long he's been with Black Widow. He's an actual spy kind of and secret agent, whatever. I don't know though, because they both have the same arrows.
I think Green Arrow will win.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Why? I think he would because he's more dark.
Who?
Green Arrow. Well, if we're talking about the Arrowverse.
No. Green Arrow, not Arrowverse.
Okay.
Green Arrow versus Hawkeye.
Why?
I say Green Arrow because he has different arrays of basically arrows.
Well, so does Hawkeye.
But Green Arrow has even more of an array of arrows.
Because Hawkeye has the latch,
Hawkeye's he
repelling
has
arrows, the explosive arrows. I think Green Arrow has more of like the chemical warfare stuff. He has the knockout arrows. I could see that.
But that's pretty much it. Yes, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, at 2 Ordinary Nerds, at 2 Ordinary Nerds, and send us any fan mail if you want to.
We have a new podcast that'll be out tonight. I just haven't uploaded it for a while because I've been busy. So.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.